Maidenform is a pyramid-shaped peak in the heart of the Teton Range. It sits almost exactly at the center of the mountains, 10 miles from the east and 10 miles from the west. This remote location ensures you will not see anyone near it. If you want a bit of adventure, this might be the goal for you. You start on the west side of the range and head due east from Tetonia, Idaho. Start in the South Leigh Creek trailhead and follow the trail markers to Granite Basin Lake. If you're going to see anyone on the trail, this is where you'll see them. There are 16 miles of trail and the balance requires orienteering. I would not call it bushwhacking because you're in the alpine zone. However, the navigation is tricky, so bring a GPS track. The first 3.8 miles are on good trail with only 300 feet of elevation gain. In other words, it is fast. We were able to cover this distance comfortably in an hour and a half carrying our overnight packs. There were loads of stream crossings with bridges to keep things interesting. Trailhead is in South Leigh Creek, and off we go. It'll be flat for the first few miles. Few huckleberries. Where are they? All right, now we're hitting the wilderness area. The Andy Stone Trail goes up that way, and we're heading this way. That's our view of Little's Peak right there in front of us, and our mountain is behind it. These wildflowers are just a little bit wilted right now, but I can imagine that just a few weeks ago they were on fire. Hopefully at altitude they'll look pretty. We're at the Beards Wheatfield Trail Fork. If we go to the right, that'll take us over to Huckleberry. We're gonna go left to continue up South Leigh Creek. Turning left off South Leigh Creek Trail and onto the Granite Basin Trail means we are starting to go up. The grade averages 10% until we get to camp. However, with this elevation gain comes great view of Fred's Mountain and the Cathedral Group. With every stream crossing, I'll dip my hat in the water to cool off. The best part of the trail is the crazy wildflowers. Switchbacks in the bottom are a bit dusty. The flowers down below were kind of dead, but you gain a couple thousand feet and oh my gosh, it's an explosion. Oh, another delightful meadow just below 26 short. Different flowers in this meadow here. Even up here, nearly 10,000 feet, the flowers are still in bloom. We're at a junction and you can see the prick, otherwise known as 26 short, looking awesome. And I think we have just a quarter mile until camp. After a good night's sleep at Basin Lakes, we're head off trail towards Maidenform. The funny thing is, we haven't even seen the mountain yet. I love orienteering and trying to find the path of least resistance over interesting ground. After reaching the saddle, we head across a narrow ridge to get to the base of the mountain itself, and then the climb begins. A cute little stream just cut in the middle of the meadow here, with wildflowers on either side. Full of streams this morning. Another pretty meadow with a stream running through it. We're getting up there. Yeah, the mountains are poking through. Glacial polishing. This must have been a glacier coming through here last ice age. More glacial polishing. All right, we'll come on a ridge. We'll see Little's Peak, and we'll see our mountain for the first time. Oh, I guess not yet. All right, that's our first view of the mountain. Unfortunately, it's really silhouetted, so we can't really make out the features.
All right, so this is the knife edge ridge between Little's Peak and Maidenform. It's not really knife edge, I mean, it's still a walking pace. But I love how you can see this drainage on the right and the left. You can hear the water flowing down the falls. And on the right, it's just, you don't know which way to look because it's beautiful both ways.
Maidenform is mostly Class 3, meaning rock climbing skills are not needed. There is one Class 4 move towards the top, but it can be navigated with care. The big challenge is navigation. This is a complex mountain, and going off track can make things much more difficult. A GPS track is in the video description.
On the shoulder of the mountain, there's a faint trail, and I'm trying to put my feet right where these grass things stick out so I get a little more traction. But if you look up, those cliffs look impossible. At least the view doesn't suck.
So why?
Imagine the force required to bend this rock at a right angle. And you can see it down here too. Shoop! Comes around the corner, comes around the corner. That's a lot of force. Ooh, we're getting up there. Almost to the top. Top is just right there. This is it? Really? That's kind of cool.
Going down, we retrace our steps. Careful footwork is required at the top, but a bit of scree surfing comes in handy on the way down. Again, it's easy to get lost. Follow your GPS track carefully.
Okay, we're on top of Maidenform Peak. That's Beard and the Prick, otherwise known as 26 Short. That's Fred's Mountain, the backside of Grand Targhee. That's Mary's and Peaked. That is Little's Peak. That long ridge right there is Treasure Mountain. The big one that sticks out a little bit is mostly vertical. That's Fossil, and then Bannon, and then Jedediah Smith and Meek. That dark one is Battleship. That's Table Mountain. Here we have, in the far distance there is Buck Mountain, and then South Teton, Middle Teton, Grand Teton, Owen, and Tiwanaut. And then over here is Moran, and then finally, that's the Cleaver. Compression of the engine. Walking down the scree, coming down, and there's all these cool ridges which give you views to other drainages. Ooh, looky there. Check out this crystal sandwich. It goes through perfectly. There's even crystal on this side. All right, gotta go down here, and there, and there, and then there.
After the difficult terrain on the mountain, it is such relief to walk on the ridge and the meadows down to the lake. It is not an exaggeration to say that I enjoy every single step.
Ridge here between Maidenform and Little's Peak. On the right we see one drainage which is really pretty. On the left, we see another. Kicker is after all that downhill, we still just a little bit of up before we get to walk out. But we get the looks back, and that's cool. Now we're on the divide between the eastern side of the Tetons and the sedimentary side on the west. Oh, look at the wildflowers. They are out. So pretty. So pretty. I love these mountain streams. It's just kind of cut through the rock. And it has flowers on either side. Looks like it's landscaped. And a little water feature.
We grab an extended lunch back at the lake, pack up our camp, and head onto the trail. One thing I love about this outing is the variety. Once you get tired of one thing, you start something new. With an even grade to Leigh Creek, we fly down the mountain, stopping only to admire the wildflowers and the mountain views.
Here, some of the chaos and stuff that's going on, and not, you know, I don't think they had to give something to think about.
Wow. You can see the U-shape caused from the glaciers. It's breathtaking.
Once we're off the switchbacks, the trail gets much faster. Now we're cruising, thinking about nothing but the couple of pounds of cold watermelon in the car and the dinner that follows.
2 miles to the car, and we're getting tired, so all we're thinking about is getting back and getting some food to eat. But it's still breathtakingly beautiful. All right, how are we gonna get across this guy?
Then.
20 miles, 5,240 feet. Maidenform is a big mountain deep in the Tetons with views that are unmatched. We did it in a 2-day backpack trip. I suggest you do it in 3.